Welcome back to the 69th Annual National Family Island Regatta, broadcasting live from beautiful Elizabeth Harbor in Georgetown, Exuma. 2025 version underway already. E-Class Cup Race, Ministry of Works completed, about an hour or so ago. And we're about to get sailing now with the Commodore Emeritus C-Class Cup Race, brought to you by Coca-Cola. I'm Dwight Hart, and broadcasting with me, my broadcast partner for this version of the National Family Island Regatta, Captain Stafford Plug Patterson.
Yes, sir.
Abaco.
Great to be here with you, Dwight. Let's get this C-Class race started. I see most of the boats, if not all of them, out there on the line. We have 40 entries in the C-Class, folks. It's going to be an exciting race.
Well, the boats are, majority of them lined up. I think I see a couple of stragglers just trying to make it to the line. I don't know if the Commodore is going to wait. Half-hour gun would have gone about 27 minutes ago.
Well, I just heard the race committee on the radio say that they hadn't put up the 10-minute preparation flag yet. So these boats, if they get there before the 10-minute flag goes up, they won't have to go around. If they're late, they have to go around one or the other of the markers and come up and start from behind.
Ah, I see. So that's one of the rules. You get there prior to the 10-minute, and you can get on the line itself. After that, you have to start from a ways back. Same rule apply as it relates to the start line or your pull line, Captain Plug.
Yes,
feet.
They have the 200-foot 3 white floats, 200 feet out in front of the start line. You cannot drop your anchor ahead of that. You got to be behind those 3 white floats. They move them a couple minutes before the race starts so nobody tangles up when they get going. But new for this year, a maximum 200-foot anchor pull.
All right. And again, I believe this is the largest C-Class fleet registered so far. 40 boats, I believe, registered.
I have 40 boats on my list. It's definitely a record. I don't think I've ever seen any more than 36. We'll assume that all 40 of them are out there on the line or almost on the line. I see a lot of masts sticking up there, bobbing up and down.
Yeah, too many for me to count at this moment, so we're just going to take it for granted that we've got 40 or close to that number about to get started. We expect this to be, again, another very exciting race similar to the E-Class. There are some favorites, obviously.
Yes.
The Sassy Sues, the It Ain't Rights, the Bull Redges, the Slaughters, just to name a couple.
Yeah.
Witty K, obviously, can't be discounted.
My buddy Colin Cartwright from Long Island, the Sacrifice. You can't count him out.
You can't count out Sacrifice either.
We've already seen a good showing from one of his boys in the Lady Anne-Marie and the E-Class there.
Yep.
So we got some good, very competitive boats lined up there waiting for the starting gun. I think Stefan and Sassy Sue was national champion last year.
Yep.
So they'll be looking to defend their trophy.
Yep.
I know that new for this year, the Crazy Partner changed hands and it now belongs to our Abaco group. So we're looking forward. We've not sailed her yet. This will be the first sail under new ownership, if you will. We're looking forward to seeing what Crazy Partner will do.
There you go. So that's going to be a boat to watch to see whether the skill set of the Abaconians gets her to power to the front to keep up with her sailing partner. It ain't right. In there, we have a couple of boats at the Black Point, obviously. Patent Pride, Slaughter, H2O, just to name a few. Exuma Mainland, represented by Buzzy Roll, Bull Reg, Confusion. We have Golden Girl. We have Queen. We have Keep Your Eyes on Her. New Eyes now, I think is the name. Fugitive, also a good boat.
Yep, Fugitive, number 28, Tyrone McKenzie.
And Termite sailing with the Exuma Sailing Club.
Number 43, she's been around a while, but she's been up in the top group before.
Absolutely, used to be a champion back in the day.
That's right.
For the juniors, before they had the E-Class juniors, she was always there.
The fleet looks pretty well lined up. We talked about the anchoring and the 200-foot rule. These boats, almost all to the one, they use a very traditional grapple anchor. It has 5 prongs, kind of sharp. You got to look out for it when you're handling it, but it's a very traditional 5-prong grapple anchor, just like they used to use back in the sponging days. Hooks in very well in the sandy, little bit grassy bottom here in Elizabeth Harbor.
Right.
The C-class boats, they're 17 feet long, length overall. And they're required to have a overall mast length of no greater than 42 feet and a boom length of 28 feet, which allows them a very large mainsail. There's no jib on the C-class boats. Only the B and the A have a small foresail. So these C-class boats have a lot of horsepower, you could say. They have a very large sail.
Right.
They're a handful to skipper. Tacking is very tricky. And if you don't want to go into irons, get the wind out of your sail there, you have to lower it halfway and put the boom in the water to get the boat back spun around.
Must say that I had a conversation with the owner of the Dream Girl last night, and he has said that he is going to be taking a win here today in this first race.
All right.
And so we'll see whether Dark Cloud is able to deliver on that promise to get a gun here.
Dream Girl out of New Providence, number 49. David Roll.
David Roll, sailing the Dream Girl. I think he said he imported a skipper all the way from South Africa, so we'll see whether that happens. Good view there from the drone, looking down on the fleet. Beautiful shot. I see we still have, looks like a boat trying to make it to the line. They're definitely going to have to be one of them starting at the back, and that line is stretched out. That's nice and long.
That's quite a start line, that's for sure. 40 boats. It's going to be fun getting going.
Yes, sir. Always, always exciting on the start of these races to see who gets cleared and who goes on which tack first. You usually get your lead boat right out of the start for the most part.
A good quick start is critical in these races. You can win and lose a race at the start. Yeah, if you're slow getting your sails up or getting your anchor up, you could end up tangled up with a few other boats as opposed to getting up front and getting in clean air.
There's a look at, I believe, Confusion sitting on the tail end of the start line, just at the bottom of the screen. Bucktown, Headley Smith, owner, Vante, skipper.
And just as we had in the E-class earlier, there's no starting positions picked. It's the early bird gets to the worm, getting to the start line. So if there is a favorite end of the line, the earlier you get there, the closer you're going to be able to anchor in that potentially favored spot.
The C-Class race about to get underway. Commodore Emeritus Cup, sponsored by Coca-Cola. And we want to thank the many sponsors who've come on board for this 69th National Family Island Regatta. Captain Plug, regattas are very expensive to put on. And even though the sport is now the national sport, there's only so much commitment financially that you'll ever be able to get from the taxpayers' purse. And so we encourage corporate Bahamas to continue to support these regattas and contribute to ensure that sailing continues. And we're able to bring you these very, very exciting races which have gone from just you having to be here to now be able to watch this from wherever you are in the world through the wonders of technology. Carson Gray and his team doing an excellent job delivering.
Yep, it's great having the broadcast. So for people that can't be here, you can see the action live. I got a call between the races there from a friend in New Jersey. Hello, Renee, if you're watching. So yeah, this broadcast is going around the world, not just around the Bahamas, but around the world.
Absolutely. I've got a few friends up in Toronto who also reached out to me that they are watching. I've got a friend all the way in China.
Oh, gosh.
Watching. So no matter where you are in the world, you're able to watch. And so I say hello to all of you up north and in the east watching this race here. Unfortunately, you guys can't be here in this beautiful weather today, but listen, make your reservations. Next year is always there.
Okay, I see one more boat headed down to the start line. Unable to determine whether the 10-minute flag has been put up, but it appears that they are going to go around one of the start marks there and come up from behind, as the rules stipulate now.
All right. Well, we should get this. We're hearing now from our race committee that there's 3 minutes to start. 3 minutes to start. So get ready.
They'll be moving those 3 white anchor line marker buoys out of the fleet's way, because everybody's anchored up now pretty much.
Mm-hmm. And this one is going to be over in a jiffy. I don't expect this race to go beyond 40 minutes. Cap, 45 at the most.
That's about what I would expect. Yep. We got a pretty steady, little bit of gusty 16 mile an hour, 15, 16 mile an hour breeze out of the northeast, I think it is.
Yep, a little bit more white caps than earlier today.
It does seem like it's picked up a bit.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a challenge when they start. You don't want to put your sail up too quick, because that slows you down, but then you don't want to be late in getting your sail up, because the other guy's going to be sailing away from you.
They will be gone.
Breeze definitely makes it challenging. These boats, these C-class boats, in my humble opinion, I think is the most exciting class.
Yeah.
They're, if you take a cube, automobile, a cube, and put like a 500 horsepower engine in it.
That's the C-class.
That's about what the C-class is. There's a lot of power in the sail. They're very difficult to handle, very challenging. But if you go out and you're skippering or sailing on one of those boats and you have a good day, you come in feeling really good.
Excellent. Good perspective there, Cap. And I believe we're going to get that 1 minute gun if we're able to hear it in short order. There you have it, a view on your screen from left to right, the start line. Good news, not a part of this race. She's just anchored there, waiting for the Prime Minister's Cup later on this evening. Coming up after this race, we expect to have the B class Governor General's Cup race. I assume it's going to probably go off around 1:30, thereabouts. And I believe we're getting ready for the start.
I bet the crew has the anchor rope in their hand. There we hear a gun. Is that 1 minute or
1 minute gun? No
1 minute gun.
No false starts at this race.
That was so funny. Makes me think of the sprinters in the Olympics.
Yes, absolutely. Same thing.
So they, I'm not sailing. I'm here in the broadcast booth, but I got butterflies in my stomach because I've been out there in the start line plenty of times before, and I know that feeling. You get a little adrenaline rush going. All you want to do is get a clean start. Let's go.
Yes. Sails up and away. No entanglements. We're looking down at some of the boats there. Bull Rich out of Baratari to our full start line. 30 seconds to start. Get ready.
Adrenaline rush going. All you want to do is get 90 out of Long Island, Mangrove Bush, Long Island.
Another boat to reckon with.
And we got some sails up at the top of the line there, up already.
Number 8.
Sails are going up and down the line.
All right. No penalties. I don't see the screen right now. And they're off. And we will see a couple of boats. I think 1 or 2 I still see sails either going back down. Widdy K being one of them, and she's now hoisting again from the bottom left of your off. And we will see a couple of boats. I think 1 or 2 I still see sails either going back down. Widdy K being one of them, and she's now hoisting again from the bottom left of your screen to get restarted. One more boat at the top of your screen, sail going back down. Try to rehoist and get started again. And there goes in front of you right now, number 90, Xena. I can see 72, it ain't right.
With the wind conditions today, a lot of these C-class boats have on a small or a medium sail. It's really too much wind for the large sail. So some of the boats that are a little more daring with a medium-sized sail might have a possible advantage here.
If you can handle it.
Well, that's the thing. This thing is too much power in the sail, and it just slows you down. So it's a fine line sometimes making that sail selection.
Yes, sir. And let's see if we can pick out some of the favorites. Number 8, Slaughter. She just did a clean sweep in Black Point, sorry, in Farmers Key in February.
Yes.
Those guys are still talking about that race. Shutting Sassy.
There's It Ain't Right. Number 72.
Over.
Yeah, I don't have that one. I think so. I don't have an 88 on the. Oh yeah. Jason Robinson out of New Providence.
And then C1.
C1. Colin Cartwright out of Long Island. Is that Sassy Sue on the extreme right?
Sassy Sue would be number 10. No. Yep, Sassy Sue.
Sassy Sue. I think Sassy Sue out in the front there. They're tacking over on a port tack, making their way up to the windward marker. I'd say they have on a medium sail, but I don't know for sure. I'll have to ask Stefan afterwards. Stefan Knowles, the skipper.
Yep.
Multi-time National Family Island Regatta winner, several classes. Stefan really knows his stuff.
He does, absolutely. And has now even entered the E-class with the early bird sailing earlier today.
So they got a pretty typical for these windy conditions. They got a 5-member crew on board. You see they got the big guys out on the pry trying to help keep the boat heeled just so.
Yep. We see going across
72, it ain't right. Here we go. A lot of boats just still on the starboard tack heading up to the windward marker.
And right in front of us, Whitty K. Now just back on a port tack, and she's going to try to get across everybody in the middle of the fleet.
As long as they stay clear of the boats on starboard tack, they'll be okay. From a poor start, she's coming back pretty good.
And in the distance, you can hear all the fans giving their opinion. Whitty K trying to make her way back into the mix. And it's going to take us a little bit to determine exactly who's got the lead. We're going to have to wait until they get to that windward marker.
I think you're right, Dwight.
Because it's spread out and different spots within the harbor itself.
Everybody's looking for that right line of wind. You want just the right amount of wind for your conditions. 171. 117. That's Uncle John out of Acklands. Alban Kemp.
Don't always hear her name called.
No, we don't.
In a regatta.
I'd say Uncle John's got on a small sail today. You can see how much of the mast there, the sail doesn't go all the way up. Thankfully, even though we have this breeze, the sea conditions out here in Elizabeth Harbor aren't too bad.
Not too choppy, yes.
They're not going to be taking on too much water, hopefully.
Yeah.
And these boats are fast.
And they're making their way up.
There should be a port rounding as it was before, which means you're going to leave the marker to the port side of the boat or the left side of the boat as you look towards the front. Starboard being on the right side of the boat as you look towards the front or the bow of the boat. We see number 8, Slaughter there, just going off screen to the right. Oh, Uncle John making the TV. lot of boats coming across the screen there on port tack with no right. So if you're on starboard tack, like the boat in the middle, the boats on port tack have to give way. Three boats right there, real close together, and the boat that's closest to us is going to be getting dirty air. 72, it ain't right, headed for the windward marker.
Yep. Followed by Sacrifice. C1.
C1.
45, I believe, is New Eyes out of Rollville.
Red Boy Roll.
You have 44 VDK.
You can never count out Witty K. That boat is fast, and she's been around a while and is a very proven winner.
Crazy Partner, your boat out of Abaco, also in the mix. Then number 107 down to the bottom, King of Knights.
Stefano. Sailmaker. Yeah, I guess we haven't mentioned the sails on these boats. By tradition, Egyptian cotton, and you are allowed a more durable synthetic type material called Oceanus, but those are the only two materials allowed for the sails. The Egyptian cotton is traditional. It does stretch and wear a little bit as opposed to the Oceanus, but I see most of the fleet still using the Egyptian cotton, and hey, that's traditional, so let's keep it traditional.
Yep, absolutely.
Witty K there on the right, just going off the screen.
Yep. All right, there's our drone view, which is going to give us a bird's eye view of where the mark is as these boats make their way to that first windward mark.
We got two boats there to the top of the screen on port, and one just below them on starboard. Can't see who that is. And another one below that as well, also headed off on port tack.
We're going to get number 15, Miss Rowie, sailing out of Mount Thompson.
Cohen Knowles. Look at that blue water, man, oh man.
Excellent view. Beautiful blue water here in Elizabeth Harbor. These boats weave their way through some of the anchored yachts. And I don't see the mark as yet, the cap, but I see some committee boats moving their way up, so I believe the mark is
up at the top of the screen.
Somewhere at the top of the screen. Going to wait for our drone to get reloaded and back up in the air again, and when she comes back we will be able to, I believe at that point the boat should be pretty near to the first windward marker turn.
I would think so, yeah.
And I believe out of all the boats that started, we may have one casualty. Boat here, I believe it may be Cobra 2. It's saying 41, but I believe that may be 14 because we don't have a 41.
No, Cobra 2.
But we do have a 14.
She dropped the sail?
She's just kind of drifting around at the back of the fleet right now. Yeah, so I think that's a reverse 14, looking more like a 41.
Yeah, they are back a bit.
In the distance, I can see boats going back on port tack, making their way towards that windward mark up in the east side of the harbor, out of view right now.
Yeah, our view of the windward marker is blocked by the freight boats here at the dock. But I think that windward marker is over there pretty close to the Chat and Chill, which is kind of a landmark.
Expect that we will have the drone up in a couple of minutes. We'll be able to pick up a shot again. Stay tuned, folks. Drone view coming up the next couple of seconds to allow us to get a view of that windward mark, and I believe we'll be able to pretty much give you an idea who the top 10 boats are as they go around. I believe they're bunched up nice and tight. Didn't see any particular boat stretching out too far from the rest of the fleet, Cap.
No, not yet. Not yet. And if the other boats have anything to say about it, that first place boat will not be too far away. I think it's Sassy Sue, but we need that view to confirm that.
Yeah, Sassy Sue was out to a pretty good start. And if she would...
Light blue hull, number 10.
Some of the action from the tail end of the fleet now. Just going by Stocking Island, making their way up to the windward mark. I believe at this point we should have some of the boats.
At each one of these markers, as the boats come around, there's one, sometimes two committee boats there, folks, to watch for any infractions. You touch another boat or you touch the marker, and it's going to give you a point penalty.
Yep.
So the more eyes we have out on the course, the better as far as the fairness goes. It's very tempting to want to try to cut in close to that windward marker to save a half a second or something like that. But next thing you know, a wave hits you and you touch the mark and you get a 1 point. I think it is penalty for touching.
Yes.
So they'll want to avoid that. And we were advised at the skippers meeting last night that there'll be more eyes on the court this year. So don't be trying to cheat.
Don't cheat. Penalties will be assessed.
All right, fleet's completely out of our view. The tech department's working feverishly on the drone.
Yeah, we expect to have the drone coverage coming in very, very soon. Stay tuned. Again, underway. Commodore Emeritus Cup brought to you by Coca-Cola. And there's your drone view. And I believe your top 6 boats in the shot right now. I can see the mark just up where those boats are kind of congregated.
So that boat there on the right hand, well, all of them probably going to have to tack over again once more to get to the marker there to leave it to the port side. The left-hand side of the boat looking towards the bow. You can come in on port tack, but you're at a disadvantage if there's a crossing, because port tack boat does not have the right of way.
Well, no surprise, 72 in the mix. In the center of these 3 boats, Xena in the mix. No surprise there either.
The cream rises to the top.
We'll see who's that at the top. Maybe Sassy Sue, not sure. Can't tell from that. Sacrifice also in the mix. You did say Colin normally does very well.
Yes,
and
he does.
Again, seems to be in that first crew of boats making their way to the mark.
So the Abaco team with the 2 C-class boats, their strategy is they put all the experienced people on the It Ain't Right, number 72. We know what she can do. The number 18, Crazy Partner, which we just got, we don't know what she can do. So we've got some of the less experienced crew and some juniors on board that today. Okay. We're just going to get a feel for it.
All right, so the boat sailing at the top of the screen right now, I believe. Well, I take that back. I was going to say that was the lead boat going to the mark, but it looks like this boat that is now on port is going to be the first boat. And you know who that is. Stefan Knowles and Sassy Sue.
Sassy Sue coming up on starboard tack to the marker there. It Ain't Right. Gonna need to tack over there and follow him around a second.
Crazy Partner, number 18.
Is that Crazy Partner?
Crazy Partner coming at you.
Oh my gosh.
And she may be your second place boat at the moment as she now swings around.
They'll tack over pretty soon. There we go.
But Stefan is doing what he normally does.
Stefan's out front.
Getting out front first.
Probably got a good 10, 12 second lead over second place.
Partner followed by It Ain't Right. Abaco right now fighting second and third.
Oh, here comes another boat coming in on the right side.
And there's your second place.
Crazy Partner.
Crazy Partner.
She's won the National Family Island Regatta before under previous ownership.
And now third place. Let's get that sail number correct. It Ain't Right. 72 in
Yes,
third
sir.
place, followed by fourth place, Sacrifice. No, Xena.
Xena, number 90.
Number 90. And then Sacrifice. And then we're going to have, if they don't watch out, a collision.
6, 7, and 8 coming in pretty tight.
107. King of Knights doing well. Sailing a clean race. Tight but clean.
Yeah, that's what we want to see.
And then we have the whole rest of the fleet coming. Number 88.
We don't have an 88.
Somebody's using, or maybe number 8, Slaughter.
Slaughter, yes.
Slaughter,
yeah, sure.
number
He's
8.
up there, yep. 13. Not 13.
One of the big numbers, 117, I believe. Is that Uncle John sailing with the big boys? Not sure. Have to confirm that.
That looks like 7-11. Was that 777?
Oh,
Catch the cat?
Oh, Bull Ridge.
Confusion
23, Pot and Pride now going around.
there. Here's 2 more boats coming in tight. But they got to respect each other and give buoy room. You don't want to tangle up, cause a collision.
Lady Eunice.
Slows you down.
03.
Is this Golden Girl?
No, Golden Gale has changed colors. She's now not golden anymore.
Okay.
Maybe Bull Ridge. 95.
Marlora. Jason Knowles. Joshua Knowles.
Joshua Knowles.
Exuma.
Boat out of Exuma, skipper out of Long Island. Couple more boats coming around now. Looks like Sweet Island Gal, I believe.
57.
And then a little bit of maneuvering right now. Everybody having to give way.
Okay, boy, here we go. We got a couple of boats close together.
45 new eyes in the mix. Confusion in the mix.
When you tack, you lose boat speed. You can see that boat, it's on the right of your screen. They came flying in there and starboard tack without having to tack, and they got better boat speed.
Bull Ridge, number 17, Buzzy Rule.
Can never count Buzzy out, that's for sure.
Yeah, got some work to do though. 44 WDK going around.
45.
Fugitive, 28, newly renovated.
They got one boat coming in real tight on the marker. Watch it, fellas. You don't want to touch. Luff up a bit. Scoot around, but you're losing speed.
That's Fugitive. And number 43, Termite. Exuma Sailing Club, Josh Knowles and crew. Got a lot of work to do to catch up in this one.
So good, clean rounding so far. Everybody's respecting the rules and the other competitors.
No doubt. Number 20, Irene Goodnight, my good cousin, Louis Hart.
And there's a shot of the fleet heading to the Leeward marker.
As you can see, way, way out front, top left of your screen is the Sassy Sue. Putting some distance between her and the rest of the fleet right now.
Generally speaking, in windy conditions like this, you're not going to see too much in the way of position changes on the downwind.
No.
It's kind of like a drag race.
Yeah.
If you make a mistake, you're going to lose speed, and other boats can overtake you. But if you pay attention to what you're doing and keep the boom out of the water when the boat starts to rock, you won't lose speed, and you probably hold your position.
Right. Well, Sassy Sue sailing with that mid-sized sail is capturing all of that wind and powering her way down. Crazy partner, the right-hand side. It ain't right. Just to the back of her. Abaco and Abaco fighting for second and third right now.
You can see from the boat wake what kind of speed they're making there. They're probably doing about 6, maybe 7 knots in this breeze, which is fairly fast for one of these sailing boats.
And I'm looking at the sail on it. It ain't right. It looks like she's barely wearing a bib out there today.
There was a lot of discussion this morning about what sail size to use, and I'm not a part of that because I'm not racing, but I know there was some debate going on.
It looks like a mini sail, almost like a jib they borrowed from the Dove.
That's quite possible.
But it's actually performing well.
Yeah, it's got the right number on it, so it ain't right sail. You see the 5-man crew, or is it we got a 6-man crew there today.
Crazy partner. And making our way down. Just look at that. It ain't right. Look how short the sail is on the boom.
That is a small sail.
Very small. Sometimes we're fooled by our camera angles, because from this angle you would think that Crazy Partner is making up some distance on Sassy Sue, but I'm not so sure.
I don't think so.
We'll see.
We'll see when they come around the freight boats here.
When they come around the freight boats. But definitely sailing well. And compare the sail on the boat chasing It Ain't Right, where it looks like they're using a full sail. I believe that
it's much bigger, that's for sure.
was sacrifice. And as the boats come, Captain, it does look like Crazy Partner may be making up just a little bit of ground on Sassy Sue.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
We'll see when they get to the leeward marker. Now they're
I didn't do a second countdown. I think you said it may have been about
10 to 12 seconds.
10 to 12 on the first lap, first mark.
Yep. Unlike the first race we had today, the E-Class race, there's no gate at the leeward marker. There's just going to be one marker. I think they're going to round that to starboard to avoid jibing.
Yes.
When you jibe, you have the high risk of capsizing. So in the interest of safety, we're not going to have the gate down there. You're just going to leave the marker to your starboard side and head back upwind.
All right.
Those three boats looking pretty close together there.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think we got ourselves quite a nifty little race. At top 10 positions right now.
Yes, sir.
Very, very tight in there. Sassy Sue, Crazy Partner. It Ain't Right.
Sacrifice.
Sacrifice. We'll get the sail numbers and the names of the others as they come down. I think Slaughter was in there along with Ms. Agnes. Miss Rowe. I'm confusing the E-Class with the C-Class. Well, I don't think that Crazy Partner is closing in on Sassy Sue, but it certainly looks like It Ain't Right maybe closing in on Crazy Partner.
It's definitely getting a little tighter there for second and third.
That little small sail may be working out well for It Ain't Right. But I believe strategy going back up to this next windward mark is going to determine.
No doubt about that. They're going to come around. They're going to head back upwind on starboard tack, and then it's a matter of when do you tack over again on port tack to
make it to the mark.
You always want to be trying to sail towards the marker. You don't want to be sailing away from the marker.
Yep.
So, but they'll be looking for lines and lifts and all that stuff that the skippers do.
Yep.
The crew will be sliding in and out on those pries, keeping the boat heeled just so. You don't want the boat flat. You want it heeled over just so, but not too much because that spills the wind out of the sail and loses power. The race committee will be presenting trophies to the top 6 finishers in the C-Class as the E-Class. Everybody wants a piece of hardware to carry home.
Absolutely. Beautiful shot. Clear blue waters from Elizabeth Harbor. And there's a look at that mini sail on It Ain't Right. but powering that boat. I mean, she is powering. And I believe starting to really make some inroads on the lead of her sister ship out of Abaco. It ain't right.
It ain't right. She seems pretty steady, which is good going downwind. You don't want to be rocking too much. I think Crazy Partner might have been rocking a little bit there. That slows you down. Meanwhile, Sassy Sue heading for the leeward marker there. They're going to come in nice and tight, sheet the mainsail in, and harden up. Start heading back over towards the windward marker on Stocking Island.
Now we're going to see if we can do a quick countdown on the lead and then mark them again at the windward mark. Starting now.
What's going on there? We got fourth and fifth.
8 seconds between second and third.
That's pretty tight. Here's fourth and fifth coming in.
All right, Sacrifice lost some ground. 2. And we've got to get the name of the boat who's just gone around in 4th place. Sacrifice going around in 5th place.
That's Slaughter.
Xena going around.
Xena, number 90.
In
6th.
Those guys are fighting to keep those boats up.
C1 on the right side of your screen. Sacrifice. Xena coming up behind him. Always a fast boat. Named after the owner's daughter, as I understand.
Yes.
.107, King and Knights in the mix there.
Yep, King and Knights in the mix. 21 also, Raging Bull in the mix.
Ding Ferguson out of Exuma.
33, Legal Weapon, Slaughter, all going around. 33, Slaughter, all going around.
The tighter you can come into that marker there, the better you're gonna get to the windward of the boats in front of you. That's an advantage.
Patton Pride, 23 going around. 117. Uncle John in the mix.
How about that?
Some water fleet coming down now. Lady Eunice going around. Dream Girl going around. Ma Laura going around.
And we have a boat in the middle of the screen. It may improve its position because they're up above the boat on the left.
Good clean sailing going on right now in Elizabeth Harbor. First place, Sassy Sue. Second place, Crazy Partner. Third place, It Ain't Right. And we did not confirm our 4th place boat, but we know that 5th place was Sacrifice.
There's the rest of the fleet making the downwind, finishing the downwind run there. Leaving the marker to starboard side.
Yep, 57, Sweet Island Gal going around right now.
Captain Keith.
No sail number, but then behind her we know that's Golden Girl number 4.
There you go, the prize. Get the crew out. 17,
Bull
Reg out of Exuma.
44, Witty K.
Witty K is stuck back in the pack.
Then 45, New Eyes out of Rollville.
Pretty good competition going on here towards the back.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting because you got 4 boats going to be coming to the market one time from slightly different angles. Looks like they're all giving each other sailing room. Lofting around.
Okay, there's a boat there to the right of your screen. Looks like 45. It's just tacked over onto port tack. They're going to try a different line.
Something different coming back up.
I mean, there's no sense playing follow the leader.
No,
you know,
that's new eyes.
Try to find some different air, maybe get a lift.
And the lead boats now are coming back up. Stefan in Sassy Sue sailing high on the race course. Crazy Partner, it ain't right, slightly below her. And hoping for some advantage.
Well, so far it looks like they're all still floating, which is good.
Yep.
You hate to see a boat capsize and sink because it's a real pain in the butt to
get them back up.
Get them floated and back in sailing condition. So this is good.
And there is your Sassy Sue, number 10. Stefan Knowles. The moment sailing all by himself.
Holding a pretty good lead there. Trying to keep the boat angled just so. Slicing through those waves in Elizabeth Harbor.
Oh yeah, that boat is holding a good form right now. She is jetty. Could not ask for a better view of that. Coming right at you in your living room, Sassy Sue. Stefan Knowles in that traditional red winning hat.
I thought he might be sailing with a straw hat on like his daddy, Captain Lauren Knowles, who recently passed away. But you know what? It's kind of breezy today. It'd be difficult to keep that on your head.
Yes. And we remember Captain Lauren Knowles fondly, someone who's been in sailing for many, many, many years. Won many, many races here in Georgetown and elsewhere around the Bahamas.
Absolutely.
And he's passed on his sailing skills to all of his sons.
Yeah, he's done a fine job with that.
Absolutely. I think we saw Tony Knowles of legend fame on the pry for Sassy Sue.
Oh boy.
Extra ballast.
Yes, sir.
Keeping her steady as they make their way.
So we got the top 8-10 boats or so just sailing right in front of us here on Regatta Point by the freight dock and the broadcast booth, heading up towards the windward marker on Stocking Island. Sassy Stu's still got a pretty good lead. I wouldn't say it's a commanding lead because they could lose it quick if they happen to make a mistake or something.
Yeah.
But right now they're pretty secure out front.
Yeah.
While the next 3 boats duke it out for second, third, and fourth.
I believe down on your lower left is It Ain't Right, and at the top right is Crazy Partner. So the Abaco boats, I believe, trying to sandwich Sassy Sue. Goda into making a mistake, I believe.
I thought
Maybe
team sailing.
strategy.
I thought team sailing was against the rules.
Don't say I said it.
No. Well, I know, speaking from the Abaco team, and I think I speak for most of all the competitors out here. You want to do the best you can, you know.
Yes.
And racing is racing.
Yeah, the best man wins.
If there's a rule that you can bend and get away with it,
You do it.
this is what racers have a tendency to do. It just seems to be human nature.
Just look at that.
That's a beautiful shot at number 72 there.
Absolutely.
I can see my son out on the pry, Eric. I think that's who it is.
Yep, in that blue shirt.
Yep.
Keeping a balance. Like you said, they're carrying 6. And again, drone sweeping down through the harbor. Xena. Number 90.
This is a fast boat right here on the screen, folks. Xena. She's been around for a while, and you can never count them out in these C-class races.
Yep. Yep.
I'm
was
looking to
doing,
skip his name.
extremely well at the BOB. I think
David Knowles is
Knowles,
skipper in. That's Stefan's brother, one of
Yep.
Stefan's brothers, right? Yep. And you can
Was in a good position at the BOB, but I think she broke a mast, if
They
I'm not
definitely
mistaken.
had an equipment failure, and you
Yeah.
can see their sail is small also. It's just too windy to have a large sail on today. So cut that horsepower down to maybe 350. Queen, 71.
Queen Pat Smith, sailing out of Bucktown.
And just going off the screen there to the right is a regatta boat. Too windy to have a the look of the original working craft, the way the hulls are shaped and the sail materials. You're not allowed any winches, no electronics. You can have a compass if you like.
Right.
But these boats are rigged pretty much how they were back in the day when my grandfather went sponging in the muds over in back of Andros.
Oh, wow. Yep, I remember as a little boy going fishing on a sloop owned by my grandfather. The hull still resides in my dad's yard in Rollville right now.
He proudly showed it to us when we were here for the Rollville Regatta last August.
Yeah, has indicated that he plans to refurbish it and maybe even possibly enter it in a regatta one of these days. That boat, I'm not sure it fits any specific class, because I think it's a little bit larger than the E class, but not as big as the C class.
There used to be a D class
I think that would be,
that was between C and E in size. I think they were just a little over 14 feet.
yeah. I'm thinking his boat would be that, because I know he used to sail with the C class boats and he used to beat them, but it was not as big as the C class. But the boat was very fast.
All right, so the fleet's heading up towards the windward marker over by Stocking Island. I'm sure we'll get some drone footage going soon here.
Yep, I believe we shall get an overview right now. A couple of minutes as the boats make their way to the windward for the second and final lap. They will then come back down to the Leeward or Downwind mark and then end somewhere in the middle of the harbor just in front of the broadcast booth, similarly as was done with the E-Class earlier this morning.
Well, I know the race committee makes every effort to have the starts and the finishes as close to the shore-based spectators as possible.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
we'll be looking for that.
yeah. And thankfully, I think the wind has been cooperating so far so that you can have that start and finish literally right in front of the docks. Today, not as busy as yet with fans, but we anticipate that by the end of the day tomorrow, leading into Friday, and certainly for Saturday's finales, that this place will be
It'll be humming.
tilting.
Boom, booming, actually. But there's some a lot of nice food booths down there. You can get yourself some good local food.
And drinks.
And drink, that's for sure. If you're new to Regatta, you want to make sure and get some of our traditional gin and coconut water.
Yeah.
Sky juice, swidgel, whatever you want to call it.
Gully wash, some people.
Gully wash. It's really tasty.
Yep.
Just watch out you don't have too many.
And I will proudly raise my hand and attest to the fact that I've had probably more than my share since I've been here on Sunday. But nonetheless, I was able to wake up this morning in time for the broadcast.
You know, Dwight, it's a part of the regatta, you know?
Yeah,
If you come to regatta and you don't have a gin and coconut water, something wrong with you, man.
Yeah. So to all of you who have never visited a regatta and you plan to attend, remember you write that name down. Gin and coconut water. So popular there's even a song named after it.
That's right, yes. Blind Blake?
Either Blind Blake or Ronnie Butler, one or two.
One of them, yeah.
Gin and coconut water. But again, the boats are currently out of view from our perspective here at the broadcast booth, but we anticipate that we'll have the drone coverage coming up in a couple of minutes. And we anticipate that they should be
Here we go.
headed to the final rounding of the windward mark.
I think we're looking at Sassy Sue. They're approaching the marker on Port Tack.
And I believe you may be right. with that.
And here we are looking. Okay, there's another boat. Or is that two boats there?
That
No,
would
this is
be
one boat.
Crazy partner, number 18.
Impressive.
And it looks like Sassy Sue has
He's
stretched out that lead just a bit.
yeah, I think it's going to be a little more than 30 seconds at this marker. But that's what Stefan is known for. He's a top-notch skipper. I give him credit for being an awesome sailor.
Yes.
And multiple-time National Family Island Regatta champion in several classes.
In multiple classes, correct. And there is Sassy Sue.
Once he knows he's clear of the mark, he'll tack over. There they go. Prize out on the windward side. Give the room, plenty of room to the marker so you don't get any penalties. And wave to the fans as you go around.
30 seconds at the last mark. I don't think anybody's going to get there within 30 seconds.
No.
This time around.
Pretty decent in this race.
Over and done with. And the first two races of the day all going to Long Island. E-class. Exuma had it for most of the race. But
you look carefully at this boat on the screen here. You look at the boom, the bottom spar there that holds the mainsail. You'll notice it's bending a little bit.
Yes, I see that.
It's a natural bending that's built into it that helps to make the sail the right shape.
Curve around.
And yeah, so my point is with all this pressure and wind, even though they got small sail on, it's still bending that boom pretty good.
Number 18, Crazy Partner. Just now making her way to the mark.
Skipper will be telling the crew to get ready for attack.
And it looks like Sassy Sue has extended her lead by well over a minute and a half. Well, we may have a change in position.
She's out there, man.
The second place is now changed hands.
I'm not seeing a sail number.
We had trouble identifying this boat earlier. Carson, if we can just get a close-up of that sail number or the name of the boat. Is that H2O? It is.
H2O, second place.
H2O now in second place.
Number 47, Effort Kemp out of Exuma.
Boat sailing out of Black Point.
Here's third place coming up.
Number 18, Crazy Partner, lost her place, followed by It Ain't Right.
And they're clear of the marker. They'll be coming down, letting out on the main sheet.
And so there you have it. Long Island first, Exuma second, Abaco third and fourth.
And fourth, here comes number 72.
And then number 8, Slaughter, coming in right behind. It looks like, I believe, King of Knights, who's sailing well.
A bit of a spread with the top 6 boats or so. If they want to change positions, they got their work cut out for them on the downwind.
Yeah, it's got to be a dog race to the end. And that is King of Knights now going around. Stefano Kemp, an up-and-coming sailor himself, sailing in C class and also in the A class on the tiller of one of the Courageous, I believe. Number 8, Slaughter, about to go around. Followed, I believe, by number 21, Dream Girl.
Raging
Bull. Number 21.
Yeah, the boats really spread out a fair amount on this second windward leg here.
Yeah, everybody's got space to do what they need to do. Xena, number 90, going around. Number 23, Pot and Pride out of Black Point.
And I think the next boat is Woody K.
And
see the sail number.
if it's 44, it is Woody K. And if that's her, she would have done well to get back in this race.
Yep.
49.
49. Sorry, folks.
Dream Girl.
Dream Girl's up there. David Rowe out of New Providence.
And number 33, Legal weapon right on her stern.
He's trying to squeeze in and gain a position. Nope, didn't quite work.
Then I believe we have number 3, Lady Eunice. Another boat out of Black Point.
Just got to stay a little tight if you ask me, but I'm not on board.
Then I believe we may have Uncle John in there.
Yes, Uncle John's still up there.
Keeping pace with the big boys.
There's a nice shot of the fleet heading downwind. You can see some of the cruising boats in the top right there. Usually have a pretty good audience of cruisers.
Yep.
If you're a cruiser and you're watching on the app, good to have you on board. Hope you're enjoying our national sport.
Yeah, maybe one of these days we'll have a local race all sailed by cruisers, or at least as the crew.
I think you'd have some very willing participants. The rules do allow a certain amount of non-Bahamians to sail on the boats. The skipper must be Bahamian, as I understand it, but you are allowed to have a couple of non-Bahamians, depending on which boat you're on, the amount you're allowed. So there has been times in the past when we've had a few non-Bahamians get the sloop sailing experience.
Yes.
And they always leave with a big smile on their face.
Oh, it's got to be the most fun ever.
It's a very unique experience. If you ever have the opportunity to sail on one of these boats, even if it's not during a race, I highly encourage you to get on board and feel the way we do it in the Bahamas. 72, it ain't right. Looking pretty good. Nice and flat. Try not to rock it too much, boys.
Yeah, using that sail almost like a parachute.
You want to keep your weight low when you're going downwind so you're not rocking. No movement, no unnecessary movement.
It looks like
so that's
the female crew member. It ain't right.
That's quite possible.
Yep.
Looks like Jeff Gale's the skipper, which would put Andrew Wilhoit as skipper on Crazy Partner.
Right ahead.
Look at that bow wave and the wake, the foam coming off that boat.
It's like a power boat.
She's just plowing through those waves. They're 6 to 7 knots. May not sound fast, but the boat's pushing a lot of water around it.
And again, looks like female crew members.
Yes,
At
that's
least one.
Clara Wallace out of Marsh Harbor, one of our juniors. Crew looks pretty relaxed right now.
Yep, I think they're resigned to their particular position and happy to at least get a 3rd place. There's only so much gully wash that we can. There's only so much gully wash that we can drink.
This is true. So coming into view of us now here at the broadcast booth, we got Sassy Sue, number 10 out front. 2nd place, H2O. She's number 47 out of Exuma. And 3rd place just coming into view now. Crazy Partner, now out of Abaco. And Crazy Partner was red, has traditionally been red. Now we painted our team dark blue. So if you're looking for Crazy Partner to be a red hull.
The boat that we're looking at on screen right now cannot be. Oh, yes, it is Sassy Sue.
Yes.
I didn't see Stefan's red hat for a second, and I was saying, I can't believe that we missed the boat at some point, but that is number 10, Sassy Sue.
He's got a great lead.
Yeah, he's got.
Unless they make a mistake or something breaks,
Yeah, I think
they should be in good shape.
I think his lead is extended now to as D. Smith is famous for saying, a commanding lead on 2nd place. It would take some disastrous turn at this downwind mark for them to lose that position. I mean, you can always flutter in the wind, miss stage, but highly unlikely when you as experienced as Stefano's and his crew.
Yeah, they're all very experienced sailors.
So for them, they're just enjoying the ride to the mark.
Well, generally, most competitors, you don't count your chickens before they hatch, so you may have a commanding lead, but you don't be cheering and jumping up and down saying we won until you get that fire and you get
Yeah,
that cannon and
absolutely.
you did win officially.
Absolutely, no doubt.
Because we've seen it happen in the past. You make a mistake or something breaks, wind shifts,
Yep.
wind drops off, and
Yep.
next thing you know, positions change.
Absolutely.